Survivor Thrivers? Authentically Me, Regina B, is back to share today's run with you guys. So it is 12 weeks to go until my first half marathon. And today was a good 4-mile recovery run. And the only reason I'm like, whew, is because my ankle is like talking to me. But I had a great session. It was on my treadmill, and I listened to a new running coach by the name of Zachary Marlin. And it was a downhill, like down a mountain run. And let me just start with the highlights. So his coaching was on point. I learned so much in that small amount of time, which the total time for him was 45 minutes. And then I went an extra 5 minutes to reach my personal goal of a 4-mile recovery run for today. And today is run day 4. We're ticking through it, right? Run day 4, which is my recovery day. And I just learned so much about downhill running, what it does for the body, what muscle it works, which is the quad. I learned that, when you run downhill, you should really try to keep your foot strike very light. And you shouldn't try to have like this long, wide stride on a downhill because that puts more pressure in your joints and especially your knee joints. I learned today that running downhill, your knees carry twice as much of your body weight on impact. So whatever your body weight is, times that by 2. And that's how much pressure you're putting on your knees. Just wowed by that. He talked about, how to keep your hips aligned. He talked about keeping your core engaged. He talked about your upper body, how your shoulders do need to be down and relaxed and down your back, chest slightly out, but you need to have a slight lean forward. And then he also said that when you're running on trails, it's good, even though your foot strike or your stride is shorter and quicker, it's good to make sure that your feet are up so you don't trip on anything. Yes?
Can I have some water?
Yes. So that was very, very informative. I liked his coaching. I like the fact that he got close there, that he likes to run downhill. As you guys know, and if you don't, I love running downhill as well. There you go, babe. I really like running downhill is my most favorite thing to do. And I'm not that far off the mark. Like I definitely am harder on myself than is required. Oftentimes I'm doing so much better than I think I'm doing or than I realize that I'm doing. And there's a part of me that my running form, it feels strong, but because over the years, when I did cross country in junior high and when I did track and over the years hearing articles or reading things, I often think that I'm not running the right way, but I am, so for him to say like a shorter, quicker stride, that's naturally how I run. And sometimes when I'm going down a hill, I do tend to do like a lighter, quick step when I'm going down a hill. And he talked about like if you're going down a hill, like on a trail or outdoors in the streets, he said it's good to make sure you keep your arms crooked at a 90-degree angle when you're swinging it, but also feel free to use your arms for extra balance because it helps balance you when you're going over pebble, if you got to get over a rock, if you're hitting a really steep downhill. So it was just really, really informative. And then I was feeling not pain, but discomfort in my left hamstring as well as my right ankle. And so as he was talking, he talked about how sometimes pain and discomfort doesn't mean injury. It's just your body's way of sending a message to you that, hey, you put some work in, and he talked about He talked about how the muscle tears when you work at it, and so that's why stretching is important, because it'll start to stiffen up to kind of, comfort itself or heal itself. That's why it's really good to get a stretch in after the run. Just some informative things that I kind of knew, but then it's good to get confirmation, So I definitely would recommend that run. I'll try to take a picture of it if I remember once I'm done, shooting this video. But yeah, with my ankle though, I'm just like, ooh, baby, I hope I didn't hurt myself. Like, I took it very easy. My breathing was under control. There wasn't any time where I felt like I was overexerting myself. I kept my pace very low. I know I averaged out at 12:11, which is right on track with the Nike Train Club Plan pace chart for my mile best and for my 5K, like where I'm at in those areas. My recovery should be right around like 12 to 12:15. And so I'm happy that I was able to do that, and it really did feel good. Huh?
I have to leave the water, and that was an accident.
Okay. It's okay. It's just water. So yeah, run day 4 done, 4-mile recovery done. I am about to get some stretching in. He said that static stretching is the best for after a recovery run, and a recovery run like what we did, which was downhill. So, and static stretching is just taking more time in different poses. So if you normally would only hold, a runner's lunge, for example, for 15 seconds, hold it for 45 seconds or hold it for 60 seconds. So that's static stretching. And I have to say, I want to share with you guys, my first part of the day, my morning, it wasn't great. I yelled at my baby. Like, I totally lost my temper. I was totally frustrated with her, and she had been kind of whiny from the start of the morning until this point. Let me just tell you, I'm one of those parents, when I know I've made a wrong move and I maybe yelled a little bit too loud, well, not a little bit, a lot of bit too loud, I ask for my children to forgive me. I say, I'm sorry, I was frustrated and I shouldn't have yelled at you the way that I did. Please forgive me. And children are so amazing. I love how Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven are filled with such as these, pointing to a small child. And if you guys ever want me to reference the scriptures that I quote, let me know. But you can also utilize Google. But I'm holding her and I'm like, love and honor. And I'm like, I'm sorry. After that situation happened, I laid her down in her bed, and then I did like a quick, 7-minute yoga session just to center myself, I guess. I don't know. And so I was really doing it as a preparation for my long run as well, but it just helped to center me. And as I'm finishing my yoga, I'm like, I need to go apologize to my baby and ask her to forgive me. And I'm hugging her and I'm like, I'm sorry. Taking total responsibility. I don't say but, I say and. What you did really frustrated me, and I shouldn't have yelled. It doesn't matter that you frustrated me. I was wrong, And so I'm hugging her and I'm like, can you please forgive me? Mommy, sorry. And she's like, I forgive you. Just that simple. Just that simple, just that easy. No, can you buy me something? I don't know. You know what I mean? We sometimes, us as adults, we make forgiveness seem so complicated. Whereas it's just a simple, someone made a mistake. They acknowledge their mistake. They acknowledge that they hurt you, and that, yes, they were frustrated, and no, it's not okay to yell at you. I don't know. It blessed me. And we both got to reset. Then after that, she came downstairs with me and watched Sesame Street while I crushed my run. And as I'm running, I'm looking at her, and she's totally over it. Like, she's dancing, she's pretending. She found some paper of mine down there and was coloring on it. She was very patient. She asked me for some chip snack, and I told her when I'm done with my run, and she was very patient, like wasn't whiny or anything. It was great. So Just to let you know, when I come on these videos, after I have my great reset, after I've gotten after it, after I've had my moment of clarity, my moment of worship, my moment of prayer, praise, you know, whatever my moments that I have, that doesn't mean that before I click record or before I get on a treadmill to run or step outside my door to run or before I do a yoga session, that doesn't mean that everything is rainbows, butterflies, and lilies. You know, so I just want you to know that in case you tend to be like me and you're a little bit hard on yourself and you feel like you're doing such a terrible job. And it's like, take a step back and realize you're doing better than you think you are. And you're not doing as bad as you think you're doing. And that is something that I have to continually remind myself. CBT, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. Remind yourself of those truths. You know, don't just think of areas in black and white, but see things in gray, right? So it's just like, no, I'm not doing that terrible. And yeah, I'm a mom and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes and it's okay, but I'm going to learn from my mistakes as well. So I'm going to go get some much needed hydration, nutrition, stretching in. Thank you so much for those of you that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate your support. If you're not subscribed, why not? You know, it's fun. You know, maybe you're sitting at work right now and you want something to watch, and maybe maybe I can motivate you to be like, yeah, I'm about to get after my run when I get off work, you know, or I'm about to go walk the parking lot during my lunch. I'm about to salsa my butt off in Zumba. I don't know. But make sure you get after whatever your get after is. I love you. God loves you so much more. Peace.